this low?
We see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and
Great job, Bethany. Double duty tonight. Great job.
I do recommend it, Hannah, because some engagement rings don't.
Now let's hear it for your Real Monarchs. Starting tonight. Defender number 3, Fanny Cavita. Defender number 12, Emilio Orozco. Defender number 21, welcome back, Johnny Caparelli. Midfielder number 19, Tyler Arnold. Midfielder number 27, Omar Holness. Forward number 80, Holness Garcia. Forward number 9, Kevon Frater. Forward number 15, Elder Torres. Your head coach is Freddy Juarez.
Sports Talk, ESPN 700.
We're back.
You're up.
We're back live here for First Kick here at Rio Tinto Stadium in this Western Conference matchup between the Whitecaps 2 and the Real Monarchs. I'm Landon Southwick, joined alongside my partner Carla Haslam, forward for BYU. Star down there in her own right, up in the booth with me tonight to call this one in what should be a very exciting team with two very powerful attacking teams.
Yeah, no, definitely. Not only is there a lot of power in the attack, but you can just feel the energy is great today during the warm-ups. I mean, the weather is awesome. You're on a brand new turf. You're in beautiful Rio Tinto. Landon, I don't think we could ask for a better day for a soccer game.
Perfect night here at the Riots. Carla, let's give a little rundown of the starting 11 for both teams real quick before we kick things off.
Definitely starting for your Real Monarchs, you have Fernandez in goal. In the back line, you're going to have Caparelli, Cavita, Orozco, and Okuwanu, Arnon, Torres, and Olness are going to be back there. You have Frater and Garcia playing as your forward, and no surprise, Velasco starting up top, looking to get some more goals as he leads the Monarchs as far as goal scoring. Really excited to see. I mean, he's on a streak right now, Landon. We talked about earlier in the game how hot he's looking. I mean, we're talking about the life of a striker. Sometimes you're hot, sometimes you're not. And Velasco's definitely on fire.
He's on fire as things have gotten underway here at Rio Tinto Stadium. Whitecaps in their all whites. Monarchs in their claret and cobalt, as usual. Whitecaps moving forward in the attack. It's going to be out wide. It'll be kept in just on the touchline, crossed in, and the Monarchs are going to retreat. Haber will be fouled by Caparelli just outside the box at an angle.
Whitecaps already looking to offense. In their lineup, we see up top they have Haber and Gregg. Haber and Gregg seem to be their two forwards playing up top as they play a 4-4-2 formation. And Landon, they've kind of been leading the show for the Whitecaps.
Both players have scored quite often for the team this year. Gregg leads the team with 10 goals, and Haber has 4 on the season. Both very potent strikers. Monarchs are going to have 2 in the wall. Whitecaps bringing a handful forward. Monarchs keeping their line just inside the 18. 4 Whitecaps players standing offside in an offside position, waiting for the Monarchs to retreat. Kavita, Aquanu, Orozco, and Garcia with Arnone in front of them. Free kick's going to be swung in here shortly.
See Fernandez telling his team to stay high.
Ball's going to be whipped in and over everybody's head across the touchline, and will be a goal kick for Fernandez.
And, you know, Landon, that's why you play high. That you're hoping that on such a horrible angle, you know, really hard to try to bend the ball in. Try to keep your defensive line high so something will go over, and that's exactly what happened, right over the touchline.
Fernandez trying to catch everybody off guard, quickly taking the goal kick, looking for Garcia. Garcia is one of those players that has wheels under him.
Garcia, my Colombiano, my paisano, able to get a few minutes in the last bit of the Real game last night, but always makes me happy to see a Colombiano out on the pitch.
Caparelli's going to step out wide. It's going to be over everybody's head again, out the back towards Aquanu, and he'll play it out for a corner.
Whitecaps like to go to that right side. So far, they've already gotten 2 crosses, one off of a free kick and one just barely, as you can see. Really their strong point of attack.
Safu with it out wide. He'll play it back to Levis. Brett Levis is going to play it all the way back to the center backs. Already, Carla, we're seeing it pretty early on. The Whitecaps are going to push forward. Gives opportunities to counter for the Monarchs.
No, definitely. Monarchs yet to get into the Whitecaps half. I don't know if they're probably looking to play conservative. You talked about how we'd spoken with Coach Jeff Ginn, the goalkeeper coach, how the team's looking a little tired. So maybe this first half, Monarchs looking to play a bit more conservative.
Be out for a throw-in on the near side. Quickly taken. Arnone's going to be there. Arnone coming off a red card suspension. Pretty fresh legs. Orozco over to Kavita, the local product. Highland High School, or East High School, correction. Don't want to offend any Utahns out there mixing up my high schools.
Well, and Kavita's so solid in the back. I mean, not only is he physically a strong presence, but he has a pretty good soccer IQ. He has a good awareness of where the ball's going to be sent in, especially on a cross.
You know, Carla, he's one of those guys that played in the ACC and really played well at Clemson. He was a captain. One of his teammates went on to be drafted in the top 3, I believe, his center back partner. So he's a guy that has a great pedigree and is a great soccer player.
Yeah, and that experience says a lot, especially for a Monarchs team, you know, entering their 2nd season. And that experience is what you need, especially on your back line.
Torres out wide to Garcia. Garcia looked to catch it in the shins.
Ouch. Does not feel good.
A little bit of a high tackle. As Levis caught him in the shins. Levis does not agree with that call. So you'll see it here. Ooh.
Yeah, he came in hard. I mean, the other teams, when you're called on a foul, you're always going to argue that it was all ball or that you didn't come in that hard, but it definitely put his cleat to his shin.
Looked like he caught him with the trail foot a little bit. Garcia's up, adjusting his shin guards. Maybe in Colombian fashion, slowly getting up.
Just getting in the zone, okay? Just getting in the zone.
Just giving a Carla a hard time as her family's from Colombia. Velasco and Torres will be out just in front of the corner flag. Ultimately, a short corner for the Monarchs. Velasco will take it. He'll whip it in. That one's going to be headed, but kept in the area. Orozco, Holness. Holness is going to take it out of the air and send it wide and high of the goal. Not a bad idea from Holness.
Yeah, you could tell he wasn't able, he had a good first touch to bring it down, but you could tell he didn't strike it the way he wanted to. But Landon, those set pieces are killer. That was the first opportunity of the match, and it was right in front of the goal.
Monarchs getting opportunities off set pieces and counters most likely tonight. The Whitecaps are a team that don't give up too many goals.
No, that's the way to do it. When you're playing a team like the Whitecaps that have such a strong defense, that's the way you're going to break them down, is taking players on 1v1, causing them to either let you go or take the foul, and then, you know, hopefully you're on cue when it comes to your set pieces. Whitecaps already with a majority of the possession, but the Monarchs moving forward towards the goal.
Frater gets a little bit of a look, but just too far in front of him. Keep up to date with the USL all season long by visiting the new USLsoccer.com for everything you need to know about the USL and its 29 teams. Levis will have it out wide. Garcia pressures him. Aquanu will step. Froys to Seymour.
Okawana doing a great job of keeping the play in front of him. So many defenders are tempted to just stab at it, put their foot in there. But he realizes that he doesn't have to win the ball. All he has to do is keep the play in front of him and keep his player from turning.
Monarchs going to look to counter here. Velasco gets right around DeWitt, and he's going to have to foul him. Velasco with the nice fancy footwork. You have to love a player that's willing to attack.
Yeah, well, it's a high-risk, high-reward situation. And it's kind of like I was saying earlier. Don't be afraid to take people on 1v1, because when you do it, either A, they let you go, or we see that foul right there, and and the Monarchs get a free kick right outside of the box.
He was almost around him right there. Had an opportunity at goal. Monarchs will get a free kick about 40 out, just at an angle.
And I admire Velasco's confidence. I mean, to take a player 1v1 takes a lot of confidence. Now he's here taking the free kick.
Be whipped back post. Orozco's going to get his head on it and put it wide. He had an opportunity there, just could not keep that one on frame.
Yeah, that one's hard because of the way he has to turn his head. I mean, the ball was sent in really well. It's just kind of the angle. I think he should have started his run a little later. That way he could have met it, maybe been able to flick it. But at this point, Landon, the Monarchs are where they need to be. They're getting opportunities. They've already gotten a few shots on goal.
You got to love the two defensive mids essentially sitting in there, Omar Holness and Tyler Arnone. Holness has already had 2-3 interruptions in those passing lanes. You've got to love that.
No, definitely. And a guy that can get the ball. I mean, that's ultimately what you want over the fancy footwork and someone who can shoot. You want someone that can get the ball a lot because that increases your productivity.
And Carly, you got to love his work rate. I mean, he's a guy that came off a seizure.
Definitely. I remember I was calling that game. And it was the first game of the season, and he's just bounced right back. Didn't phase him at all.
Flores is going to get it back to the center backs, and that will go all the way back to the keeper, Sean Melvin. Melvin to Farmer. It's going to be clipped forward, and Caparelli's going to cut that one off. And we'll have a handball just outside the circle in the Monarchs half. Monarchs will have the free kick. Holness will take it. He's going to try to reset. He'll step over it.
Psych.
Give Orozco the opportunity to take it. Whitecaps 2 keeping a high line. Olmes, can he get to it? He will not get to that, and it'll cross the end line and be a goal kick for the Whitecaps.
See, and I think that's risky for the Whitecaps, if you ask me, because you have someone like Velasco and Garcia up top that are so speedy. So when you play such a high line, you run the risk of getting a ball over you and them outrunning you in a foot race.
Carla, you and I talked a little bit about this earlier before we got on air, but Olmes Garcia had opportunities last night in the RSL game. I'm sure he's chomping at the bit tonight to get one.
What a heartbreaking game. I mean, to be honest, I was here at the Riot last night, and that felt like a loss. You didn't feel like you gained a point. You felt like you lost 2 points. But you're right. This is the best way to redeem yourself. You're back at the same stadium. You're representing the franchise. Why not get a goal?
Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content.
And again, just a great day for soccer. I mean, the fans are loving it. Monarchs have had opportunities. The weather's great.
Beautiful night here on this 4th of July weekend. It's about 87 degrees here at the stadium. A warm night.
With this new turf, we're talking about the new turf kind of feels like, the new grass. Feels kind of like a new sponge for them. So
it's got a nice, a little bit of a moist complexion to it. Pretty spongy in that sense, It plays well. We've heard from players and
it keeps them honest, I think.
That it plays quite soft, though.
Yeah, I think it keeps them honest. For those who have a great first touch, I mean, it's perfect soccer conditions.
Aquanu out wide with it. Get it to Holness in the midfield. Holness looking wide to Velasco, and he'll play that one a little too far.
And, it's too far, but I'm happy with it. Landon, I remember you and I calling some of the games at the beginning of the season, and one of our biggest complaints was, why do they always play right down the middle? Why not play wide where there's more space? But we've seen in this game, the Monarchs not afraid to go from east to west.
Aquanu's going to settle. Nice little footwork by Aquanu to Kavita. Arnone, Monarchs possessing well as Arnone's get Arnone gets chopped from behind.
Yeah, they started really slow, but the Monarchs seem to be getting in the groove now. And I like that they're just possessing. You know, right now they don't have to force it down the field. They don't have to get a goal in the first 5 minutes. I like that right now they're developing a rhythm, passing it around the back line, and trying to build out of that back line.
Kavita with it. He'll look up, pick up his head. He has green space in front of him. Into Garcia. Garcia's doing a great job tonight, Carla, of tracking back into the midfield, finding the ball.
Yeah, and he's really good at holding someone on his back, right? Again, he realizes he doesn't have to turn with the ball. Just hold someone on your back and play it forward.
Ball's out wide. Caparelli's going to win it. That'll be knocked out across the end line for a goal kick for the Monarchs. LifeVantage, helping people achieve health, wealth, and personal freedom. Real Salt Lake and Real Monarchs broadcasts are heard on ESPN 700. Your home of soccer in Utah is Utah's #1 sports talk, ESPN 700. And by Kennecott, or Rio Tinto Kennecott, we make modern life possible. Take a closer look at riotintokennecott.com.
Whitecaps now trying to build out of the back as well. Both teams now starting to play similar styles to each other, and you find that's very common in soccer.
Garcia with it. He's going to show his speed, and his touch gets a little away from him.
It gets away from him, but again, like I said, if I'm the Whitecaps, I'm probably not going to want to play as high as they are. I'm interested to see if you know, coaching-wise, if that changes anytime throughout the game.
As you see, Olme's giving a little pressure, and Levis has to knock that one out of play, and will be a Monarchs throw-in just in front of the Whitecaps 2 bench. Aquanu, the former Tar Heel. Another ACC product down there.
One side of the country to the other, right?
To Holness. Over to Frater, the Jamaican connection there. Frater's going to keep it up, and he'll be called for the foul or the handball. Looks like he was in an offside position, maybe came from an offside position to an onside position there.
Let's see here in this replay.
Oh, he pulled up his arm there and caught the defender in the face.
Yeah.
Sure that's a foul, but it was called.
A foul, but it's a soft foul. But it happens, hit him in the face.
Ball's going to go all the way back to Fernandez. Fernandez will collect in his box. Over to Caparelli on the near side. Caparelli recently returned from loan with the Kitsap Pumas, where he had a nice little stint there.
Yeah, and I think that's great that he was able to just be able to play for them. It's an ability to be able to adapt, you know, to different players and different teams. And so it's no surprise that they trust him with the starting lineup spot just because you get experience.
Orozco looking forward to Velasco. He'll play it back. Caparelli's going to be moving forward. Caparelli's another one of those players that has speed and is technically capable of getting forward up into the attack.
Yeah, and he knows it. He's confident enough to take a player on.
He's a Danny Alves-esque player in my mind.
I think that's a great comparison.
Frater and Garcia putting a little pressure on the Whitecaps. They'll play it back to the keeper, Melvin. He'll play it wide to DeWitt. He'll pick up his head, looking for options.
Monarchs still yet to test out Melvin.
Kavita will bring it down. Greg and Haber are the forwards for the Whitecaps. A potent bunch up top. It'll be a strong task for the Monarchs tonight to keep them off the score sheet.
No, both played very well with their back to goal. And I'm guessing that's why they have the 4-4-2 formation, is the idea of let's get players, midfielders up wide, and then we'll play to our 2 centers who are able to turn at the top of the box or hand it off to a midfielder.
Monarchs playing some beautiful soccer right now. Can he keep it in? He's in the corner. He'll play it into the box. Didn't get much of it, Holness.
Yeah, too much momentum.
Just tried to keep it in, did a good job keeping it in, but was unable to get anything under that. No power. Kavita, the midfield stripe to Torres. Torres over to Aquanu. Kavita's pressured. He'll lose it.
Great defense by Greg.
Safu. Shot and a goal!
Wow. And a goal all from Greg's defense at the midline.
The Whitecaps score the first one here at Rio Tinto Stadium in the 17th minute of play. On a beautiful individual effort
Yeah, and it's difficult.
by Haber.
It's difficult for the Monarchs just because they were numbers down. We're looking at the replay here. You have a 2v1 situation. Haber takes it himself, but Monarchs unable to really attack it because they're worried about a second player coming in.
So we're getting a look at that again. He takes it from his right foot, moves it over his left foot, catches the defense a little bit off guard, and just puts a low worm burner into the back of the net.
No, it's hard for Fernandez because Fernandez is also aware of that second player. Again, comes all from that defense from Greg, number 47, the goal scorer for the Whitecaps. That was nothing more than his tenacity to win the ball back that led to his teammate's goal.
Just spoke about the potent attack of the Whitecaps, and the commentator curse maybe got me there. Whitecaps playing with a little more confidence here.
Oh, yeah. Well, the first 5 minutes after a goal are crucial just because the energy changes.
Haber out wide, looking to do it again. He'll play, looking to get it back, gets it back inside the box, and Caparelli's able to stick his foot in there and disrupt the attack by Haber.
Yeah. Fortunate for the Monarchs that Haber kind of pushed it in forward. Caparelli able to get a foot on it.
Follow at USL on Twitter to keep up with all the live action during the 2016 USL season. Orozco out wide to Caparelli. He'll pick up his head, and his pass will be picked off. Didn't have much on that, Carla.
Now, that's the thing is you get scored on, it's so deflating. But the best teams are mentally strong enough to realize we still have a lot of game, a lot of soccer to be played. The best teams are able to pick themselves up and put it behind them. Focus on the present. Focus on the moment.
Whitecaps with it in the Monarchs attacking end.
Good
Holness turns. He has space. Turf Monster almost got him. To Torres. Or to Velasco, the captain. He's at the angle. Looking for Garcia out wide. Garcia has an opportunity. Looking to clip it in. Arnone's going to keep it in. Safu moving forward. Looks to play it forward to Greg, and Greg has wheels, but not that type of wheels.
No, definitely. I think Safu was looking to maybe hope for a counterattack. He's looking to play Greg up top. But at that point, the Monarchs had recovered. At that point, they had 6 players back. But I do think the Monarchs are going to have to be careful about that. The Whitecaps love to play that counterattack, especially when the Monarchs get into their box. So, you know, if Coach Juarez can tell them, hey, if we lose the ball, we need to be able to transition much quicker than they did there.
Whitecaps looking to attack again. All the space in the world. Greg moving forward. Shot.
Wow.
That one's going to be wide. I don't know if Fernandez got any of that. Doesn't look like he did.
Yeah. Well, Greg made that look so easy. Haber as well.
Haber is having a heyday right now,
I know.
getting in the box.
Well, you know, all of that is just awareness and timing, too.
Might have eaten his Wheaties this morning.
Right.
Frater out wide. He's on the touchline. Nice little move to get away from the Jamaican.
Well, there's something said about Haber, too. I haven't seen breakaway speed from Haber, but he's just so smart in the run.
Looking for Velasco. The ball got stuck in the back line of the Whitecaps. They'll quickly look to transition as Greg will play it wide. They're going to attack on the near side. Looking to play forward to Greg, and that one's too far in front of him. And Fernandez is going to collect and quickly outlet. Velasco going forward. Not much help for him moving forward. Maybe Olmes out wide, but nothing in the middle of the park for him.
Yeah, well, Monarchs definitely a little worried. If not worried, just trying to, they recognize that the Whitecaps like to play those through balls. So when you do move up the field, all your players are behind you.
Holness. He'll be taken down in the midfield by Seymour. There'll be a foul called just across the half.
And at this point,
replay at that.
This point, you're just trying to get out wide. I mean, you look at your screen, you have Whitecap players everywhere on that field. Just try to get yourself some space. That's exactly what they're going to be doing here, passing around the back line. Going to be looking to play wide.
Garcia. Whitecaps will possess. They'll go back to the keeper. Torres is going to pressure him a little bit. Arnone with the nice settle to Holness. Holness to Velasco. To Frater. His touch is going to get away from him. Be out on the far side. Whitecaps will possess. Caparelli's going to go to grounds. Knock that out of play for a throw-in on the near side.
Caparelli's been pretty solid on that far side. He has a good ability of being able to push the forward out wide, create, use that sideline as a second defender.
Check out at USL Soccer on Instagram to see match highlights and action shots from games around the league. At USL Soccer on Instagram. Holness over to Arnone. Can the Monarchs attack right here on the counter? Arnone, his pass just wide of Garcia. A little bit too far into the field instead of towards the touchline where Garcia was checking to.
Yeah, you can see the vision that he's trying to just get out wide because that's where the space is. The game changes, Landon, when you're 1 goal down. And we can see the Whitecaps already. They're playing a 4-4-2, already pushing a lot of people into their own half. Monarchs trying to go out wide to just get any sort of space.
Arnone over to Orozco. He'll pick up his head. Looking wide to Velasco. Played it on the wrong shoulder. Velasco was looking it forward on the inside, and he played to the outside. He'll be out for a throw-in on the near side in the 24th minute of play.
Yeah, and you can already feel that energy starting to drop. 24 minutes, and you've been going crazy hard. There was a goal. And the body language is a little softer now. You have people with their hands on their hips. You're getting passes intercepted. Guys starting to get a little tired out there.
Which you'd maybe see that from the Whitecaps. They are in the second of 4 games on the road. The next 2 games will be in the sweltering heat of Texas.
Yeah, and Monarchs have to take advantage of that. You have a team that's going to be on the road for a long time. That's exhausting. Even if you're sleeping the right hours and eating, just traveling is tiring. And so I'm interested to see if the Monarchs are going to be a second half team who in the last 10 or 20 minutes of the game are going to be able to capitalize on just the sheer fatigue of the Whitecaps.
And last I checked, Carla, Utah has a higher elevation than Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
So pretty much sea level compared to the mountains. Monarchs may be able to capitalize with that. Torres with it.
Yeah, and maybe it won't happen in the first half, but the last 10 minutes of the second may.
Torres looking for, Holness looking for Arnone, and that will be cut off by the Whitecaps.
The Monarchs do like those dramatic last 5-minute finishes.
Haber's going to pick up his head. He's going to go at the Monarchs. Holness looks to slow him up. Probably could have gotten a professional foul and a yellow card there.
Did grab his arm there.
No foul called, and the Monarchs dispossess the Whitecaps.
Refs trying to maintain some rhythm in the play.
Safu out wide just near the touchline and the midfield stripe.
Whitecaps don't really have anyone to go to. Kind of forced to go side to side, back to their goal, but as far as forward, they're keeping it pretty far back.
Be switched to the far side. Levis, Safu, and Froys playing a little triangle game right there. Little keep away. Be switched to the near side, going to be kept in, and Caparelli's going to collect. He'll play it to Orozco. Great little effort by Caparelli to shield the Whitecaps off the ball and let that one go across the end line for a goal kick.
Yeah, no, that's the key is make that sideline another defender. Again, as a defender, you don't have to win the ball. You just have to be able to get out of bounds, get your team possession, or make the other team go back. Keep it away from your own net.
27th minute of play. Monarchs with it in the back. Kavita. He's got a little green space in front of him, calling for Garcia. Over to Arnone. Arnone to Garcia. Aquano can't keep it in, just a touch in front of him. Go out in front of the Whitecaps bench.
I like that Okuwanu, though, is moving up the field. I mean, you don't see very many defenders that are willing to get in the attacking third, but Okuwanu has had several opportunities where he's moving up. You can see his little legs running as fast as he can.
Real Salt Lake fans, keep an eye out on him. He's one of those that really has the potential to be up with the first team here in the next year or two.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Just smart player. Smart and very efficient in his runs. Again, I like that he moves up the field and gets into the attacking third. And that disrupts the play for the other team because suddenly you have a third man in there that you don't know how to mark. I know as a forward, I hate when the other team's defense moves up the field because that means I have to run an extra 60 yards.
Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow @Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. Monarchs within the back line. Freddie Juarez loves to play out of the back as Arnone is going to recover from his mistake. And a nice sliding challenge to knock that one out of play.
Well
Held the ball
timed.
up a little too long there, Carla, just across the midfield stripe and got caught by the Whitecaps. Almost gave away a quick fast break.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, that's a risky slide tackle because it was coming from behind. But he's talented. He can time it. He had the right speed. Very clean tackle.
Garcia had a nice jersey full of Flores there. Flores is going to go down quickly. That'll be a foul called just in the Whitecaps half.
Yeah, and foul-wise, it's been a clean game. You have those, you know, soft fouls that are typical of a soccer game. But you would think between these two teams, you know, that animosity or that revenge between the two, there'd be a lot more physical. But it's actually been a very clean soccer game.
Aquano will bring that one down. Over to Holness. Aquano quickly with pressure forced on him as he'll be taken down. Clipped right on the
Maybe I spoke too
Achilles
soon, right?
tendon, and he'll go down, yes. Maybe a touch too soon there. Free kick, Monarchs here in the 29th minute of play as the Whitecaps 2 lead 1-0 on a goal in the 17th minute by Haber.
A great
solo
goal.
effort.
A great goal. Very, very well done under pressure. You know, very composed. Able to slide it right under Fernando's, right under his arm into the black hole, as the goalies call it.
Aquano gets chopped down again. Second time in a row.
It's because he's got that shifty footwork. Got that shifty footwork, and you're going to get clipped a lot.
He's going to get up and be talking a little bit to Freddie Juarez and Holness. Both Notre Dame, UNC products, Tar Heels there together.
Isn't that funny how small the soccer community is? It seems like everybody at some point plays with each other or against each other.
Drafted in back-to-back years by Real Salt Lake in the Super Draft. Whitecaps with it. Haber. Haber gets chopped down.
Same play on.
Correction, Haber passed it away. A slip on the far side, clipped into the box, and Fernandez will come out and pluck it out of the air. Quickly, Monarchs looking to capitalize on the counter.
You know, that slip did give the Monarchs half a second to get back, kind of get 3 or 4 players into the 6-yard box.
Torres to Garcia. Out wide to Aquano. Aquano has green space in front of him. Arnone. Pressure's quick and fast by the Whitecaps here. Torres playing forward to Garcia. Garcia's in the corner. He'll look to cross it in. And that will be knocked out for a throw-in just in front of the substitutes on the far side. Aquano quickly into Garcia. Garcia has an opportunity to cross it into Frater. Hits the post!
Wow.
And does not find the back of the net.
Horrible luck.
Wow, Frater almost had himself the
man.
equalizer in the 31st minute of play.
Cursing the soccer gods right now for that.
With a great cross in by Garcia. Quickly taken corner kick, Carla, by Aquanu into Garcia. Garcia whips it in. Frater rises up and finds nothing but that white pole.
Post. Oh my gosh, if the post was 1 inch smaller, that would have gone in. You see Melvin for the Whitecaps, goalkeeper, off his line. There's no way he could have gotten to that if, again, by some miracle, the post would have been 1 inch smaller.
Soccer can be a little bit of a cruel game.
Oh, so cruel.
A game of inches often with the post. Today in the Euros, many of you may have seen some of those PKs, and one of those PKs came off the underside of the pole In some games, it comes off the underside and goes in the back of the net. In some games, it doesn't
It
find
misses
the
it
back
by
of
a
the net.
centimeter,
So
yeah. No, well, and soccer is cruel in that sense, and in the sense that you can dominate an entire game and still lose. I don't know what other sport that's possible in. But you definitely see that in the Euros. Some of these better teams getting let down, right? Underdogs are winning games.
Fernandez over to Kavita. Back to Torres. Torres looking for Orozco. He'll play it a little behind him, and Orozco will track back to pick that one up. Light shadow, or full shadow almost on the field, just the northeast corner.
Maybe add some relief to this heat.
In sun. Warm night here on a 4th of July weekend. Garcia going forward. He'll be cut down.
I probably would have called that as a ref. There was no advantage to be played on that.
Looked like it could have been a good challenge. Orozco.
Oh, no.
Sitting alone is Kyle Gregg, and he puts that one right up over top.
And see, that's another reason why if I was the ref, I would have called that, because it disrupts the entire rhythm and gives the other team an advantage. I mean, the Whitecaps had a counterattack solely because, you know, of that little clip in the beginning.
Gregg, the captain, 10 goals on the season. Probably should have had his 11th there. So he had a sitter inside the 18 and puts that one right up over top.
I think he thought that the Monarchs were a lot closer than they really were, because he could have taken a first touch with his upfield foot.
The center backs from the Monarchs got a little disconnected. One got sucked out wide, and one lost Gregg, which is not something you want to be doing here.
Well, definitely someone like him who just has great composure in front of the goal. Right there, again, he should have taken a first touch, but you definitely do not want him wide open on the PK spot.
All USL matches are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Follow the action on the USL YouTube channel today. Haber out wide. Caparelli's going to be with him. Haber will slow things up. He'll get it back on a little bit of a give and a go. Orozco checked out to him to add some pressure. Back to Levis. Flores. He'll turn over to Safu.
You see, they're all trying to push him inwards. There's where all the space disappears. Garcia, you can see, he's angling his runs, trying to push everything to make it predictable for his teammates. Move it towards the center of the field. That's where you have no space. That's where all the players are.
Seymour looking out wide. Defended by Caparelli. It's going to come off his body and arm maybe for a corner kick.
Yeah, I thought it came off his arm.
This will be the first one of the match for the Whitecaps.
And it's been a pretty even game. Both teams having opportunities. Both teams having their series of set pieces here. But, Landon, this is where it kills you. These corner kicks. Fernandez setting up defender on his posts. Some teams debate whether or not to have players on their post or not. The Monarchs are not one of those teams. They like to have them there, and it's definitely saved them in a couple of games.
Caparelli and Torres on the post. Ball's going to be whipped in. Header's going to go wide for another corner kick for the Whitecaps. I'd like to welcome all those of you in British Columbia tuning into tonight's broadcast on the YouTube channel, as well as those who are here locally in the state of Utah that are tuning in on KMY. You are listening live on ESPN 700. Safu. He'll play to the top of the area. Flores is going to pick up his head. He'll take a shot through traffic. It's going to fall. Hit comes off the post.
Another post.
Great opportunity for the Whitecaps, and that one hits the post again.
He's hanging his head down. Again, just unlucky. I mean, great awareness. I mean, the idea, just instinct to know where the ball is going to go. It hits a deflection. You see him wide open for a far post shot, but hits the outside of the post. Oh, that's the worst feeling in the world.
A little bit lucky that shot from Flores came in through traffic, fell right to the feet of Haber.
Yeah, like I said, it's just instinct is great to just know where the ball's. I mean, he's a poacher. He just knows exactly where the ball's going to be and when he's going to get a goal.
Caparelli's going to knock that one off the Whitecap player on the near side. Monarchs throw in. He'll take his real estate on the end line, or on the touch line.
I think we should also give Lalo Fernandez credit on that one as well. He did take up a lot of space, and that did force the Whitecaps to try to shoot out wide.
Flores, he's going to put that one over top. Be a goal kick for the Monarchs. Real Salt Lake continues its massive Rio Tinto homestand on Saturday, July 9th with an 8 o'clock kickoff in Sandy presented by Pepsi. International soccer icon Drogba leads the Montreal Impact for the Superstars' first ever visit to Utah. Arrive early and enjoy the brand new Carnival Real on the East Lawn. Opens at 6 p.m.
That'll be a great game, too.
And pack the house as RSL looks to capitalize on the dominant home field advantage provided by you, the fans. Get your tickets at rsl.com. Garcia looking for Velasco. You can get your tickets at rsl.com or call 844-REAL-TICK.
I'll be at that game. That's going to be a good one.
Monarchs with it just in front of the half. They're pushing for an equalizer here in the 38th minute of play. Both teams have hit the post so far. Velasco looking for Arnone. Arnone and Velasco just on reading different books tonight.
Right.
Maybe on the same book, just different pages. Orozco's going to settle that one. Little far in front of him. Dangerous as a center back to settle it with players in front of you. Frater will settle, be knocked down by DeWitt.
Ref's not looking to call those. Like I said, the problem when you don't call something like that, though, is Whitecaps are really good on the transition, and that is capitalizing on the Monarchs' half step, half stutter.
Safu and Flores, a nice little give and go there.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Safu. He's just very composed when he gets the ball, very smart, knows where the open player is before he receives it.
Garcia will foul Levis right in front of the Monarchs bench, in front of head coach Freddie Juarez.
At this point, you're approaching the last 5-ish minutes of the game, and you don't want to give up any other goals, right? You want to keep it at one goal. You know, Monarchs, if they can get one, obviously, but keep it at one goal and don't give up the ball. Silly balls like that to the Whitecaps.
DeWitt, he'll take a shot from distance, and that's going to be wide. Monarchs looking deflated up top. A lot of guys throwing up their arms. Body language here has been dismal here in the last few minutes.
Yeah, I think they're waiting for that second half to begin. And they're waiting to be able to get a water break, to be able to regroup and talk with their coach. But you're right. You still have 5 minutes of game left. You can't do that. You have to, again, you can't give up the ball. You have to play smart soccer. And you're losing 1-0. You have to be able to move up the field and keep possession. Set the rhythm for the second half.
Going to be a foul. Seymour,
Maybe
quickly taken by Farmer.
A foul out of frustration. You're right. The body language is poor right now.
See if the Monarch can regroup here in the last few minutes of the first half. Whitecaps. Great step by Orozco. He'll cut things off. He's got green grass in front of him. Velasco. Monarchs with a couple attacking players moving forward. Velasco's going to cut wide. He'll be taken down, but it'll be no call and a throw in on the near side. Torres will take it quickly. Velasco and Torres.
Just possess at this point. It's nothing more than possess. Get a rhythm. It'll open up.
To Frater. Out wide to Torres. Torres picks up his head, puts a shot on frame, and will be saved and parried away by Melvin. Decent opportunity for the Monarchs.
Oh, yeah. No, great idea. I love that he's trying to get it away from the goalie. You know, Melvin did get a hand on it, but I like the curve on it. Get it away from the goalie. If it comes off the keeper, Monarchs are there to be able to put it away. The thinking is good.
Aquano gets up to win the header. Velasco, he'll try to play it forward. As DeWitt's going to go out to the near side to pick that one up. He'll collect.
Melvin yelling at his teammates to calm down, to go slow, keep possession. Right now you're trying to get a rhythm, especially for the Whitecaps winning 1-0. Possession is your best form of defense.
Haber puts it. Great little run there. And a yellow card will be shown to Arnone as he had to take down Levis in the midfield as he made a nice little darting run, collected the ball, brought it down, and Arnone was kind of in a bad spot as we're going to go look at that one here in a replay.
Yeah, we'll look at the replay. I don't know if I would have given him the yellow card. There was a lot of momentum going into it, and I totally get that, and that's why. But it seemed more like they hit hands. There was a clip. I don't know if that's yellow card worthy. Definitely a foul, but it seemed like they both were just going for the ball and they kind of clipped hands.
In that sense, definitely a professional foul as he's able to grab his back arm just to prevent the counterattack.
The counterattack. No, very tactical foul, definitely.
Caparelli can't knock that one forward and out of the box, and he'll come off the side of his head, and it'll be a throw-in, or a corner kick, excuse me, for the Whitecaps here in the 43rd minute of play.
These corner kicks are so dangerous. Fernandez just organizing his team, telling them where to mark up. They like to keep their 2 players on the post, the Monarchs, and they like to have, their defensive line up on the box. Try to create any sort of space for Lalo if he needs to dive or snag the ball out of the air.
Monarchs looking like they're going to make a sub here shortly as Rolf is up with the 4th official. Corner kick taken by the Whitecaps from the near side. It'll be swung in, headed out by Orozco. Be a throw-in on the near side for the Whitecaps. So we're going to see a sub. Kayvon Frater is going to make an exit here in the 44th minute of play. And Chris Rolfe will come on. Not something you typically see, Carla.
Yeah,
a first half substitution.
Yeah, especially Rolfe. Rolfe, I know they like to bring him into the second half to add some more energy, some more life. But, Coach Juarez is probably thinking, why not try these last 3 minutes, prepare him for the second half. Rolfe has a great work ethic, and so he may be thinking that these last couple minutes try to get someone in who's going to race towards the goal and get a foot in there.
Might be a statement from Freddie Juarez showing a little bit of bad body language. Might get you a seat on the bench a little early.
No, definitely.
And in the USL, Carla, to remind those fans out there that may be watching or listening for the first time, in the USL you have 5 subs as Rolfe puts a lot of pressure up on Melvin.
Yeah, it's just that work ethic. And a lot, not only that body language too, but, Frater had a quiet half, and so Coach Juarez is probably thinking if we're going to win this game, we have to have our 3 strikers up top getting the ball a lot and creating a lot of opportunities.
Rolfe comes in and gets a round of applause from the crowd as he presses the keeper, forces a goal kick.
Oh, well, you love that. You love a player that can come off the bench and get it, and right now just fight for everything.
Rolfe will be called for the foul.
The fans don't agree with it.
As DeWitt's going to take a quick fall to the ground. He collapses pretty quick there and pretty easy. Still a foul as Rolfe had his hands on the shoulders.
Yeah, at this point, the first half is waning to a close. At this point, you just want your water break. We had a drum going on in the crowd earlier. It's kind of new for Monarchs games, but now the fans are unhappy.
Roscoe's going to cut that one off. Safu, he's going to take a shot from distance. So we'll have 1 minute of stoppage here in the first half. 1 minute of stoppage.
That seems about right. There hasn't been anything really to slow the flow of this game. A couple soft fouls. There was a yellow card for what you and I, Landon, agreed was probably not yellow card worthy. But overall, it's been a pretty soft game physically.
Fernandez over to Kavita. Monarchs in their defensive third. Arnone's going to check back into the defensive line. Looking forward to Garcia. Safu with the nice foot moves. He's one that played for TFC2. Great foot moves. Haber's in on goal. He's going to pick up his head, and he's going to go wide of goal. Caparelli was there to defend.
Yeah, for all the soccer players, young soccer players watching this match, take a look at Haber and the runs he make. Again, he's not a speedster. He's not going to outrun anyone, but he's so smart. If you're trying to learn the game, and, for coaches trying to teach their young players, especially strikers, where to run, Haber's angled runs are timed perfectly, and his awareness is great.
First half ends here, and we've played 45 minutes of soccer here at the Riots. The Whitecaps lead 1-0 on a 17th minute goal by Haber, as the Monarchs are going to have to come from behind here to get 3 points tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, you have 45 minutes of soccer left, so there's definitely a lot of time. You know, right now, Coach Wattis is probably just telling we have to find more shots. They've had 1 or 2 set pieces. They've had one that hit the post. But if you want to increase your chances of scoring goals, you're going to have to get more opportunities in the attacking third.
Both teams have hit the post tonight. And we're going to take a short break here and come back with some halftime commentary here at the Riot.
Do you have what it takes to be a champion? It takes hard work, dedication, and great. Accomplish what others can't. If you train hard, you'll not only be hard, you'll be hard to beat.
Call the sports training program at Tosh, the orthopedic specialty hospital in Murray, and give your best to develop the champion in you. Tosh offers sports training programs for athletes in any sport you play. Football, baseball, basketball, soccer, golf, running, many others. See, now is the time when champions are made, when no one is looking, when there's no crowd cheering, when it's only you in the pursuit of your dreams. For a short time, mention this radio ad and you'll receive 15% off.
So YouTube has a 4-minute break. Ours is 2. Don't we normally just have like Carla and Landon go on and then YouTube comes in just whenever they're ready? Or
Just do a 4-minute break here.
Welcome back here to the Riot as the Whitecaps 2 lead the Monarchs 1-0 here in this Western Conference matchup on a 17th minute goal by the Whitecaps in Haber.
Yeah, and what a goal. Haber doing a great job just getting in front of the net. I mean, the guy has great awareness. We were talking earlier, he doesn't have this crazy speed, but his IQ is great. Always knows how to find the space and how to get the ball.
He went at it alone in the 17th minute and was able to find the back of the net, as the Monarchs have also had their opportunities, hitting the post by a freighter header. Just unlucky not to go in the back of the net.
Yeah, you know, I mean, sometimes the soccer gods are against you and you just hit the post. I mean, the Whitecaps did it as well. But the Monarchs getting opportunities in front of goal. They had a couple set pieces in the first 10 minutes of the match. So Monarchs having their opportunities, just unable to capitalize in the attacking third.
Both teams coming off a quick game this week. Whitecaps 2 on a road trip in their second of 4 games, and the Monarchs returning for the first time since April 26. So both teams trying to feel their way through different experiences that maybe they haven't had to deal with as of recent.
Yeah, and you can kind of see the energy falling as the game went on. You can see that they've been playing a lot of away games. You can see that the Whitecaps have been traveling. The energy in the last 10 minutes of that match was very low. We talked about body language. Body language was very poor as well. And so who's going to win this game is going to be who can endure the second half and bring out that energy, especially in the last 15 minutes.
Heat and altitude are possible factors here in the second half that could play in the advantage of the Monarchs, having played here at home, trained in Salt Lake, knowing how the climate affects players.
For sure, and even just playing at home brings a whole brand new energy. They have the brand new turf field. You know, the stadium, the feeling right now is great on this holiday weekend. And so the Monarchs should have the advantage. But again, we talked about them being tired.
Set a break.
Talked about, you know, being down a goal. That always changes the dynamics of the game. So they're going to have to pull out a fight here.
You know, both teams here are looking for that capitalizing moment that they can take advantage. And we'll come back here shortly with a break here in the next few minutes, and we'll be back with more commentary here in the second half.
50 West is more than great food.
Stretched out to the middle, back to
broke it up. There's a shot. They score! They score! Bernardo Fords. It's in! Rochester! And the game exciting!
Today's halftime is sponsored by Rio Tinto Kennecott. We make modern life possible. Take a closer look at riotinto.kennecott.com. LifeVantage, helping people achieve health, wealth, and personal freedom. RSL's next home game at Rio Tinto Stadium is on Saturday, July 9th, with an 8 o'clock kickoff in Sani, presented by Pepsi. International icon Didier Drogba leads the Montreal Impact for the Superstars' first ever visit to Utah. Arrive early and enjoy the brand new Carnival Real on the East Lawn. Opens at 6, and pack the house as Real Salt Lake looks to capitalize on the dominant home field advantage provided by you, the fans. Get your tickets at rsl.com or call 844-REAL-TIX. As one. Landon Southwick joined alongside Carla Haslam for the end of halftime here as the players start to stream back onto the pitch in what has been an exciting first half. 2 poles hit, 1 goal scored, and what should be an exciting second half of action, Carla.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine what Coach Waters is telling his players because, to be honest, the Monarchs are having opportunities and they're playing well. But they need to be able to finish in the attacking third, and that's all it really comes down to, Landon. Both teams playing well. Whitecaps doing a great job. I mean, we look at players like Haber who have already gotten 4 shots, 1 which became a goal. And so it's really going to be a game of just who grinds it out and who's able to finish in the attacking third.
Carla, looking at those changes you might make or those players you have on the bench, what would you do if you were Freddie Juarez moving into the second half to provide a spark for your team?
I like that he put Rolfin at the very end. Just because you see that brought a new spark, a new energy. You have players on the bench who are very capable of scoring goals and very capable of adding that new spark and energy to the field. So I would keep Rolfin up top. The second thing is I would encourage my team to keep going out wide. We found a lot of times the Monarchs going out wide on the right side. Now try to switch it up. I mean, you're asking a lot of your teammates, but to be able to travel from east to west to spread out a Whitecaps team who is packing 11 players back into their own half.
Some changes and opportunities on the bench as Tavares, Sunley, Copeland, Amankona, and Moberg are on the bench for the Monarchs. Players that are capable of coming in. Tavares is likely the option if you want to add an attacking player. He's one that comes in and has a lot of speed and flash.
Yeah, well, and Tavares, too, is so quick up top. We mentioned earlier in the game how high the Whitecaps play their defensive line. You put someone like Tavares out there who's got this great speed, I would be sending every ball over the top.
Monarchs looking to better their record on the season as they're 5-8-4, 19 points. They're in 9th place in the Western Conference. 3 points, though, out of 6th place, which would put them right back in the thick of things. The Whitecaps, too, are 8-2-5 with 29 points and sit in 1st place in the Western Conference. They're a team that really is leading the way in the Western Conference this
leading
season.
the way, but remember one of the teams they lost to was the Monarchs. So the Monarchs, again, capable of winning this game. It's difficult to beat a team twice, but you're at home here. The weather's nice. I mean, there's no reason for why they can't get another shot and hopefully get another opportunity to score a goal.
Second half will kick off here shortly. Monarchs in their claret and cobalt kits. Whitecaps, too, in their all whites. For those of you just joining in here into the second half as we're in the second 45. Flores. Whitecaps attacking. Orozco is going to be called for the foul as he rode up the back of Haber. Free kick for the Whitecaps. It's going to be swung in.
Yeah, and just look at the numbers game. I mean, it's so packed in the midfield. Monarchs are doing that on purpose, try to avoid any sort of space, giving Lalo Fernandez lots of space in his own box. The Whitecaps are going to have a challenge on this free kick here.
Levis is going to play it with his left foot. Monarchs holding a line on the 18. He'll swing it in. Ball is going to go long, but kept in by the Whitecaps, and Fernandez will collect that one out of the air. Not much was on that header, just back into the area.
It's kind of a slow motion header, but a good look because it brought it back into the 6-yard box. Fernandez able to snag the ball from the air, but not a bad look from the Whitecaps.
Holness will dance a little bit, go back to Kavita. all the way back to Fernandez. Fernandez is having one of those great seasons. Fernandez leading all goalkeepers in the USL in minutes played and has a 1.13 goals against average and is tied for saves with 49 before tonight's game.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. He plays very consistently. And, you know, he's a predictable for his teammates. So his teammates always know what kind of balls he wants to be played to him, what kind of saves he's good at, maybe what he's not so good at. A very consistent, predictable player.
Whitecaps will swing it to the near side. Will be cut back in, looking forward to Haber. Haber's going to settle with his chest. He's defended by Caparelli. Haber's going to cut in. Be cut off by Arnone. Flores out wide. Good pressure by the Monarchs. It's going to be a handball called on the near side. And Aquanu will take it. Correction, he'll leave that for Kavita.
Trying to move all his teammates forward. See the whole line start to shift. Line of confrontation starts to shift as everyone moves up the field. Monarchs trying to get an opportunity on goal. No longer playing conservative. Right now they have 4 people at the top of the Whitecaps line.
Caparelli looking forward to Velasco. Velasco's going to pick it up. Monarchs have numbers. Over to Rolf. Rolf's out wide. Rolf's going to look inside the box.
Ooh.
Just too far in front of Elder Torres. Elder Torres was making a nice run on the back shoulder of the center back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, good look. That's why I'm excited that they brought Rolf in, because I think Rolf's trying to prove himself. And he's looking to get his teammates opportunities. He's not a selfish player.
So on the near side, ball's going to be a swing and a whiff by the Whitecaps. Flores, he'll push Arnone to Roscoe.
Whitecaps playing very high pressure. I mean, you see their line of confrontation, as we had mentioned earlier, is very, very high. That's how they'd gotten their goal, is just from, you know, mass defense in the other team's half.
Rolf does a nice job to settle. Ball will be picked off, and DeWitt will start the counterattack. Whitecaps, 2 moving forward. Ball's going to be played into Haber. Haber is way off. We're going to chance to look at that one again, but Caparelli stepped up at the last minute and pulled him off.
Yeah, good defense from the Monarchs holding that line. They all shifted together.
50th minute of play. Fernandez will put this one forward. To Garcia. Rolf's going to pressure it. Holness will step over and cut that one off. Great job by Omar Holness. Velasco goes to ground to try to corral it with his legs.
Yeah, you know, and I think what we're seeing right now, just kind of this scrappy soccer, trying to figure it out, I think that's what we're going to see for the majority of the game. Just really grinding it out and trying to get opportunities.
Caparelli with the throw-in to Holness.
Great touch.
Caparelli's going to get it back outside. He'll pick up his head. He'll cut back and win a corner kick for the Monarchs. Crowd appreciative of that
Oh, yeah.
attack by Caparelli.
Oh, and we were talking earlier about how Okawonu likes to go up the field because it adds another man in the other team's half, and that's exactly what Caparelli's doing right now. We see him here ready to take the corner. Love that he gets in the attacking third, creates an offensive threat.
Caparelli will swing it in. Looking back post, Orozco.
Wow.
He
Volley.
found himself wide open, was just unable to keep that one on frame.
Yeah, great send by Caparelli. Finds Orozco on the far side. Orozco, another one of those defensive players that's getting shots, getting opportunities in front of the box.
Good opportunity on those set pieces, Carla, to bring up your big players, your center backs.
Oh, for sure.
And get them to have an opportunity on goal.
For sure, the angle was very difficult, and it went over the goal, his shot, but it was actually pretty well placed. His touch on the ball was good.
Great step by Kavita. Ooh, that's going to be a challenge from behind on Flores. would be surprised not to see a card there on Flores as he came chopping through Velasco.
I was just about to say that. We saw a card earlier on the game from a clip where two players going towards the ball. I'm surprised the ref isn't looking to pull out the card in his back pocket there.
Surprised not to see it as we saw that replay. Opportunity to look at that a second time.
Oh, that hurts his poor ankles.
Tyler Ploger is the center referee tonight. Refed about 90 MLS games, so he's a very experienced ref. Holness looking forward to Rolf. Rolf on a different page.
Yeah, running a different run.
Orozco able to get back and win that off the foot.
Yeah, what a great tackle. Timed it perfectly.
A little bit of a long touch there is what got away from him.
Whitecaps doing a really good job of just those counter-attacking runs. I mean, you don't see him doing, Messi-like moves or fancy footwork to get around someone. It's really just playing direct balls that players run onto.
It's a player that we did not mention that came on at halftime. Frano came in, and he's a midfielder, wearing number 45.
Frano definitely showing some wheels.
Rolf there is going to hold it up. Getting a little chippy here in the last few seconds. Velasco went through DeWitt.
Should mention that 3 or 4 of the last counterattacks that the Capstones have had have come from DeWitt and Farmer in the back. Both have a great eye for knowing when to play the ball direct up the field and when to pass it among their midfield.
Keep up to date with the USL all season long by visiting the new USLsoccer.com for everything you need to know about the USL and its 29 teams. Arnone's going to cut that one off. The free kick. Monarchs quickly looking to capitalize. Garcia got on his horse and started to ride, but was just out in front of him.
It's a long run. You and me, Landon, were talking at halftime about how both teams kind of bypassing their midfield, like to play from forward to defender. And while that's effective sometimes, it does make up for a lot of running for players like Garcia and Rolf.
Definitely does. Little bit of a benefit here in the USL to have 5 subs, though, Carla. You're able to expend a little bit more energy in situations like that. Holness. It's going to be a foul in the midfield. Holness is going to see a yellow card for a professional foul as he tugged on the jersey of Greg.
I'm amazed at some of these yellow cards.
Seeing the second stuff there. It was the first foul that was called, and the yellow card given to Holness here in the 45th minute of play.
And the Monarchs will just have to be aware of that. If you have a ref that likes to hand out cards and likes to call the foul, that's just something you have to be aware of, not to give any sort of fouls, especially right outside of the box.
Whitecaps 2 with an opportunity and a set piece here. Be swung into the back post. Aquano is going to be thrown to the turf.
Yeah, pushed down. Both hands went down on his back. It was actually a really obvious foul here. Pushed him down. Yeah, the ref's probably playing the advantage. Figures the Monarchs a goal kick essentially in the same spot.
Exact same spot there, just on the 6-yard line.
Yeah. The only reason why I would have wanted to see a whistle is it does send a message to the other team that they can't do that.
Caparelli's going to have the throw in for the Monarchs. He'll quickly take it to Velasco. Looked like a high boot. No call will be made. Fernandez and Kavita able to come on the same page. Looked a little bit scary there for a second.
I know you see Fernandez hesitate a bit to hit that.
Whitecaps going to play it out to Levis. Levis moving forward. He'll play it out to wide to Safu. He'll play it across the 6. It's going to go just in front of Greg and Haber and going to go all the way to the far side for a Monarchs throw-in.
Asking, nobody's really open for him.
Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. We're here in the 57th minute of play. Whitecaps lead 1-0 on a Haber goal. Caparelli goes to ground. Flores will get it to the corner. Flores going to cross it in. Orozco's going to get it. Caparelli's down, calling for it. Kavita's going to get thrown away by Greg. Be a foul called. Caparelli looks to be in a little bit of pain. We're going to get another look at Kavita getting thrown back by Greg. He was still able to win that header, though.
Caparelli on the ground now. Seems like it was from his slide tackle. Well-timed. He's been doing that all day. Well-timed in his slide tackles, but looks like his ankle's been clipped.
In this situation, we'll probably see Arnone move back into the left back position to replace Caparelli, and it looks like we'll see Amasa Mancona, the Dayton product.
I'm a big Amancona fan. Like his energy that he brings. Caparelli back on his feet.
Maybe not.
But
Looks like he'll...
back on his feet, but probably not to play soccer.
So, you know, he's making his way back up to the center of the field, standing with the fourth official, waiting to get motioned back on by the center referee. He'll motion him back on.
Oh, I hope he's feeling well.
Looked to be in a little bit of pain, but he's back up and active. Kavita looking forward to Aquanu. Monarchs looking to attack here. Over to Arnone. To Caparelli. Garcia. To Velasco. Monarchs dispossessed. They'll win it back. Holness is going to pick up his head. He's running. He's got space. He's going to take a shot. He'll be wide of the goal. Not a bad idea from Omar Holness to take a shot.
No, that's one of the ways that you keep another team honest is by taking a variety of shots. Some of them may be in the 6-yard box, some may be within the 18, some are off a set piece, and some are outside the box, as we just saw there. You know, it forces the Whitecaps to be a little more honest. They can't drop back as much as they just did in that play. Forces them to move up the field. And if you see a window, Landon, you got to take it, right?
Rolf giving a little pressure. He won by the Whitecaps. Greg. He'll pick up his head and find the midfield. Into Froys, and he'll give it away. Kavita's going to lob it forward. Missed touch. Rolf giving a little pressure. Whitecaps able to push it forward. Caparelli's now down and not coming up. Kavita saves it. Fernandez is out. Kavita saves it off the line. Off the 6, correction. Fernandez is going to parry that one away as Flores takes a hit.
Good defense by the Monarchs there, both Fernandez and Kavita. Kavita, seeing that Fernandez is down on the ground, steps in almost like a goalie. Is able to get a knee or a thigh, inside of his thigh.
Great effort by Fanuel Kavita as Caparelli's down again. Looks like he's cramping up in his right leg. Amancona is standing with the fourth official here to enter this match. They're going to wave him on the stretcher crew and pull him off. Looks like his night will be done here in the 61st minute of play.
Yeah, and you wonder how much of that is also related to this slide tackle earlier.
Like he might have stretched out a little further than his body wanted to. Not something a little ointment can fix.
Definitely not.
Got to get on a stretcher and take him off.
Well, and we pray that he's okay.
You hope it's nothing serious when a player goes down in that situation, as he'll make his exit here in the 61st minute of play. And Amasa Mancona, number 16, will enter the match.
Amancona, known for his fancy footwork. No surprise he's going to be trying to take on the Whitecaps.
Whitecaps with a corner. Be taken from the far side. It's going to be swung in with the left foot. Looking back post to Farmer. It's going to go over his head. He'll keep it in. Defended by Orozco. All the way back to Flores. Whitecaps 2 will regroup. As Olmes is going to clear lines and the Monarchs are going to regroup and get out of their area.
Get out of the air. Try to get in that shape, that defensive line you see. Trying to create that Nike swoosh-like shape.
Aquano will bring it down, play it back to Fernandez. Fernandez getting pressured by Greg. He'll play it out on the near side. Be a throw-in for the Whitecaps, too, here in the 63rd minute of play. Whitecaps, like we mentioned, are riding a great season. Last season, they finished in the lower part of the table. This season, they're in first place in the West.
Yeah, really. Winning almost all their games.
Only
this
having
team knows
lost
how to score.
2 games on the season, as Garcia is going to attack forward. He's got Torres. He'll play it to Torres. Torres is going to pick it up his head, looking for Velasco, and will be cleared across the end line by the Whitecaps, by Levis, and we'll have a corner kick for the Monarchs here in the 63rd minute of play.
Good look. I'm interested to see what happens if the Monarchs try to go more towards the end line. Hold it a little more and try to get a pass back to the 6-yard box.
Torres is going to take this one with his left foot from the near side. He'll swing it in, looking for Kavita, over and plucked out of the air by Melvin. Great job by Melvin to come out of his 6-yard box. Pluck that one out of the air.
Yeah, good work. The spin on that ball was good. The texture and the spin, very good for someone to be able to get their head on it.
Velasco quickly into Rolf. Rolf, shot, wide. Took that quickly with his left foot. I don't think that's his preferred foot, but still a great opportunity for the Monarchs and a heads-up play by Velasco to quickly throw that one in.
Yeah, you have to take the window when it's there. Definitely really hard when it's bouncing around. But you have to take the window. You have to take the opportunity in hopes that if it bounces off of Melvin, or as we've seen in this game, the post, that you have another teammate that's there to get it.
Great heads-up soccer IQ by Velasco to get that quickly into Rolf. Great little touch there by Safu. He'll get it back out on the near side. Looking in the middle to Greg. Greg's header just up over the bar. He is pounding the ground. He wants that one back.
Yeah, no, just a great series of soccer. I mean, you mentioned soccer IQ. And that's why players like Greg and Velasco are able to get so many goals, because they're in the right place when beautiful crosses like that come.
Rolf was great job to hold off DeWitt, but cradled that a little bit in his arms.
Bad luck.
Not the football that we're watching.
You know, and it's unfortunate that he got called for the handball, because being able to hold, you know, DeWitt, who's a bigger, physically, you know,
imposing
player, yeah, is you know, a great skill to be able to hold a player on your back like that.
Garcia showing great work right here in the 65th minute of play. Swung out wide. Greg's going to have it. Amancona is going to be called for the foul as he stuck his foot in just from behind and fouls Greg, the captain. Going to free kick from about 40 yards out, just at an angle.
Yeah, and you know, that's a dangerous free kick there. While it's very hard to get it in the back of the net, there's so many players running into the box.
A great crowd here on hand tonight at Rio Tinto Stadium, where the Monarchs are looking for the equalizer as they trail 1-0 here in the 66th minute of play. Free kick for the Whitecaps too. Safu standing over it. He'll look at goal. Fernandez will collect that one easily. Monarchs will look to quickly go forward. Amancona.
Wow.
Nice little footwork. He was looking for Garcia, telegraphed his pass a little bit, and that got picked off.
Yeah, he opened up his hips a little too early, and defense read it, but I love that he's taking people on, especially right in the midfield. Risky to do, but he does it well.
Velasco's going to go down as he'll be fouled.
Velasco, I feel, gets fouled more than any other player. I'm sure there's a stat on it somewhere in some book, but I feel like Velasco gets taken out so much more than any other player simply just because he gets the ball and has crazy footwork.
Chung fouls him. Chung's a name we haven't called many times today. Safu, as Garcia's going to pressure it. Akwanu's got it. Ooh, Akwanu's going to be tackled from behind by Safu, just outside the area on the near side. And the Monarchs are going to have a free kick as we'll get another look at that. See that he went through the body instead of getting the ball.
Yeah, Okwanu doing a good job of putting his body there. Makes the defender have to make a decision, and here the Whitecaps chose to foul him. Now you see the Monarchs trying to put almost their entire team into the box. You have 4 waiting outside, ready for any sort of shot, any sort of opportunity on Melvin.
Free kick Monarchs. Elder Torres off at the angle. Torres is going to whip it in. Looking back post to Orozco. Roscoe gets up. That will touch his head last and go across the end line for a goal kick. Monarchs going to make 2 subs here shortly.
Yeah, take advantage of your 5 subs allowed in the USL. Take advantage of the opportunity. Try to get some fresh legs, especially when you're down a goal.
Played midweek against the Switchbacks in Colorado Springs. So some heavy legs out there as Sunley and Tavares are getting ready to check in. Rolf. This ball will be knocked off his foot. Arnone will have the throw in. Arnone into Torres. Elder settles. Over to Velasco. To Amancona. Monarchs looking to switch the sides of the field. Garcia.
Whitecaps doing a good job of staying on their marked man.
Over to Aquanu. Aquanu, can he get there? It's going to be just out in front of his stretched leg. He'll go for a throw-in on the near side, just in front of the corner flag, and the Monarchs are going to make their double substitution here in the 69th minute of play.
You know, and that says a lot about players that can come off the bench, especially in the second half, and be able to bring the sort of energy and be able to play as if they had started the game. You know, players like Sunley have a lot of experience here with the franchise. And so, you know, Coach Juarez is looking to them to be able to bring that experience, bring that composure that comes even when you're coming off of the bench.
Velasco will be replaced by Eti Tavares, and Elder Torres will be replaced by Alex Sunley. A like for a like on the side with Velasco and Tavares. Sunley more of a defensive player than you would see from Torres. Monarchs dispossessed.
Well, Torres is so quick. You see when he has the ball, or when his teammate has the ball, his hand's out in front. Pass it in front of me. I want it in front of me. I want to be able to run onto it. So he's a player that's very attack-minded and likes to have a through ball given to him.
Sunley will most likely drop back and let Amancona sit a little higher. Be able to pull some strings from the attacking position. He'll pick up his head. Sunley's going to play it far wide to Tavares. Tavares with a great touch. Back to Amancona. To Sunley.
Oh, great turn.
Great turn by Holness. Holness picks up his head. Out wide to Garcia. Garcia doesn't have options.
Yeah, where's his teammates?
Plays it back, and the Monarchs will lose the ball. Opportunity to counter for the Whitecaps. Played out wide to Greg. Greg plays it in the middle. Great sliding effort by Orozco to keep that one out of the area.
Yeah, and Whitecaps' ability to transition like that. I mean, one Mark Garcia has it in Melvin's box, and the next we know Fernandez is having to dive for it.
Check out at USL Soccer on Instagram to see match highlights. It's another opportunity here all the way through the 6. And that one's going to go out the back side, the far side, correction. Like I was saying, check out the USL Soccer on Instagram to see match highlights and action shots from games around the USL. We're going to see another substitution here for the Whitecaps. Kyle Gregg will take a seat on the bench.
Yeah, you're approaching those last 20 minutes. You want any sort of fresh legs you can have. And, you know, I'm of the belief that fatigue makes cowards out of anyone. You know, so if you can have players that have energy, that are able to contribute to that game, that's why we're starting to see a lot more of these subs as it's so close. Whitecaps already with 2 counterattacks. Again, just their ability to transition with numbers up is incredible.
Still trying to find the number player that came on for the Whitecaps. At half, we failed to mention the sub that happened as Frano came in for Froys.
Monarchs again are going to try to get into the box. Problem that they've been having is every time they do get in the attacking third, nobody's open. Part of that's just because the runs aren't angled enough or timed well. And another aspect of that is that the Whitecaps are doing a really good job of staying on their man and packing it into the box. Whitecaps now trying to look forward and find any sort of space.
Player that's there looking to collect that ball was number 57, Thomas Sanner, who just came on for Kyle Gregg. We're in the 73rd minute of play. Whitecaps 2 lead 1-0 here at Rio Tinto Stadium on a beautiful Saturday evening. Thank those of you out there joining and listening in. Hopefully you're out there enjoying some apple pie or something good like that.
Apple pie, some fireworks tonight. Be enjoying your 4th of July weekend.
Amankona. Out wide to Arnone. Arnone, he'll go forward in an attack. To Tavares. Tavares is going to press, and that one's going to go off and be a throw-in for the Monarchs. Correction, a throw-in for the Whitecaps.
I thought it was for the Monarchs as well. That sideline official waiting for the next substitution told us the opposite.
Safu's going to make way as Jordan Haynes is going to come on.
Safu very steady in this game. Does a really good job of knowing how to defend the ball, how to make it predictable for his teammates. Very consistent. I mean, again, after the game, I'd be interested to see what his possession numbers are, just because he always seems to win the ball and give it off to a teammate who then is able to move forward.
He had an assist tonight. The lone assist to that first goal by Haber. Orozco will go all the way back to Fernandez. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. Amankona back to Kavita. Sun's setting here in Salt Lake City. Amankona back to Kavita. Monarchs pinging it around. Looking wide to Arnone. He'll keep it in.
Good touch. Way to bring it down. Scissor him up. Unfortunately, was not able to beat his player.
Chung. He'll play it forward. Amankona is able to cut that off. Monarchs attacking. The crowd's getting into this one.
Yeah, no, you can feel the energy start to pick up as the Monarchs winning some balls, showing a lot of defense.
Sunley's going to be taken down from behind, and Flores is going to see a card.
Yeah, that's the 3rd or 4th foul that Flores has given.
Sunley with a little grimace on his face. Sunley took a little too much time there and got fouled from behind.
He knows when the player's coming in behind him and knows exactly when to turn his back.
Tavares will settle to Holmes. Holness looking for Tavares. Played it a little too hard. Monarchs pressing here in the 76th minute of play, Carla.
Like I said, you can feel it building, both the energy in the stadium and just by the players. They're starting to look forward. You know, they're fighting for some balls. This is the first time in the match that we've really seen the Whitecaps kind of disheveled here.
The question tonight is, will we see some fireworks here late in the second half from either team?
Well, in USL-like fashion, there usually are a lot of goals or opportunities in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Tavares. He's going to go forward. Go to Garcia. Garcia's going to be fouled by the captain.
Yeah,
DeWitt.
Garcia doing a really good job of reading that. He knows he beats his player, and what does he do? He steps right in front of them. You know, provides an opportunity for them to get a set piece where they were originally numbers down. It was 2v4 when Garcia had the ball and was fouled. And now they get a free kick right on goal. Melvin organizing his team, telling him to stay right on top of the 18-yard box. Garcia having some words with the ref now.
Straight out from the area. Holness, Sunley standing over it. 78th minute of play. Whitecaps 2 lead 1-0. Sunley, Holness. One of the two is going to take this one.
And this is a great opportunity, Landon.
Holness. 4 in the wall. Holness will take it, drives it. On frame, a great effort.
Yeah.
Keeper saw it the whole way, though.
Hits it around the wall, which is good, but you're right. Melvin was in full control there.
Monarchs keep it in. Rolf out wide to Orozco. He'll play it in. Looking for Garcia. As Farmer's going to head it wide for a corner kick. Monarchs pressing, Carla.
Yeah, no, like I said, they're starting to get that energy. Farmer has to be careful. You know, there's opportunity. You're heading anything towards your own goal. Have to be very careful. Good job in reading it at least.
Amancona is going to go out for the corner kick on the near side. He'll play it in with his right foot, an in-swinger. Body's there. Holness. So there's going to be a foul called on Omar Holness. Ref saying that he got his hands.
Seemed to have hit him in the face. I think is where the Whitecap defenders holding his nose. We'll see here on the replay. Yeah, he grabs him around the face. So that'll be a Whitecap foul. Olness not sold on it. You can see he's having a few words with the ref on that one. Shrugs his shoulders a bit.
Haber. Fernandez is going to come off his line. An on-rushing Sainer right there.
Yeah, no, Monarchs definitely have to be careful because the Whitecaps' line of confrontation is so high. They play such high pressure, which is exhausting, but if you're in the right shape to do it, it leads to turnovers, which led to their goal in the 17th minute of the match.
All USL matches are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Follow the action on the USL YouTube channel today. Tavares is going to be dispossessed. Monarchs pressing, though. Kavita's going to cut that one off. Sainer moving forward.
Just push him wide. Push him wide. Whitecaps don't have numbers into the Monarchs half. All you have to do is contain at that point.
80th minute of play. Yeah, throw in for the Monarchs. So we saw the replay. Taken. Orozco out wide to Aquanu. Aquanu back to Kavita. Amancona. He'll get it to Holness. Holness is going to be chopped down. Rolf providing pressure for the Monarchs. It's going to go all the way back to the keeper. Arnone's going to win that header.
Arnone down on the ground.
Tavares is going to come back and provide the defensive touch for the Monarchs. Arnone's going to pop up. He's a little tight. Stretching out his left leg.
I think it goes back to that cramping. It's hot right now. They've played a lot of soccer. This is the second time that we've seen players out on the field starting to cramp up a little bit when they come down, have to land hard.
Monarchs chance now. Echoing here in the stadium here in the 80th minute of play.
Last 10 minutes, and you know, so far I don't think there's going to be much extra time added to this match, with the exception of Caprelli being taken off on the stretcher. You know, the game's flowed at a pretty good rhythm. So it may be the next 10 minutes where the Monarchs are going to show what they're made of and see if they can get a goal.
Ball's going to be played back to DeWitt, to Farmer. Out wide to the near side. Kavita with a great step. Rolf. Rolf with the shot. Wide. Rolf was checking to see if he was still onside. Volleys are hard, and he was unable to keep that on frame.
Oh, you have multiple things going in through your mind at that point. First, you're right, the offsides, checking to see, you know, if his lineman's put up his flag. Second thing, he still wants to keep that defender on his back, you know, so you don't want to run too far in front of it because your defender comes around to the side. So Rolf doing a good job getting a shot when he has 2 or 3 things to worry about. If only could have dipped a little bit more. Those shots are hard, the dipping ones off of a volley. Melvin definitely off his line, though. Melvin was willing to come out for the 1v1 on that one.
The goal scorer, Haber, is going to take a seat on the bench here in the 83rd minute of play. And Sandu will check in. A defensive player. Looks like the Whitecaps are going to bunker in a little bit here in these last 10 minutes.
You know, it's at this point, it's just time management. Last 10 minutes, you're just trying to keep the other team from scoring.
Tavares. He'll go at 2 players. Touches it wide. Sunley. To Kavita. Monarchs pressing. Out wide to Aquanu on the far side, on the near side. Back the other direction to Orozco.
Yeah, just trying to get in a rhythm right now. Trying to possess the
Amancona.
ball.
Monarchs looking to get creative to Tavares. He'll be taken off his foot. And the Whitecaps are going to go forward. Orozco and Sainer. He'll slow things up. Numbers forward for the Whitecaps. It'll slip on the near side, and that will go out of play for a Monarchs throw-in.
Yeah, both teams really right now just trying to play that possession type of soccer. Neither one really looking to go towards goal in these last 2 or 3 minutes, just trying to play it around, develop some sort of rhythm. Whitecaps obviously want to keep it because they're winning. They're in the lead.
Real Salt Lake returns in mid-June with 3/4 of the season still left to play. Join the 15,000 season ticket members who support the Claret and Cobalt by purchasing the Final 15 package, which starts at just $195 for 15 games. Ball forward, Sainer. Both Monarchs are on him. He'll meg the keeper, or meg Kavita, and get it wide and put that one.
He's going to see that one in his
just right.
dreams. He's going to see that one in his dreams. I mean, he beat 2 players, nutmeg 1v1 with Fernandez and misses it. Fernandez doing a good job making himself big.
Looks like he was off balance by that point.
Yeah.
It's an average of just $15 per game, an incredible value to witness entertaining soccer and the most dominant home field advantage in Major League Soccer over the last decade. Call 801-727-2702 or visit rsl.com/tickets for more information. Believe as one. Zakwanu's down.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened, if he got hit or if he's starting to cramp up. Very hot out here now.
Carla, let's go back to that opportunity there for the Whitecaps too. Gets in on goal, defended. It's a 1v2. Gets through both defenders. A lucky meg through Kavita.
Yeah.
Gets in on goal. Only has Fernandez to beat and puts it wide.
Yeah, I mean, it was on his right foot, and Lalo was taking the far post. And so you knew it had to be a near post shot, but at that point, it's just composed under pressure. And you're right, he did slip. There was a lot of, he was off balance when he hit it, but he hits it so hard. You know, at that point, you just need a little chip. Last night, Burrito scored a goal that was just 1v1 at the goalie. Just a little chip to
Ball
get
is still
front.
in the area. Amancona to Arnone. Arnone! Shot and a goal! Tyler Arnone equalizes in the 86th minute of play.
In RSL, Real Salt Lake, Monarch, whatever like fashion, seemed to score in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Arnone collects the ball, takes it to his right foot, and puts it in the back of the net.
Arnone wide open on that far side. So, I mean, easy for him to be able to shoot to that near post. Great placement, great composure, looks to the near post as Melvin looks to take the far. Poor guy, cramping up right now.
I don't know if he has much left as he scores a goal here in the 87th minute of play to equalize things 1-1. with only a few minutes left. Arnone's down though, cramping.
Oh, well, he ran so far. He had to make a 60-yard run to get that ball. Definitely worth it, but he had to run far as a midfielder. Just great awareness to be on that far side.
Monarchs trainer running from one end of the field to the other end to tend to Tyler Arnone. So there's a little bit of a scuffle in the middle of the field.
Yeah, Whitecaps not happy about giving up a goal in the last 5 minutes of the match.
Flores and Garcia are just going at it as the center referee is in the middle of nowhere, and the AR's on the field making sure things are broken up between Flores and Garcia as they're both now making amends.
Yeah, did you see what happened? I was watching Arnone and his celebration and his cramp afterwards, and I didn't catch the team starting to exchange words with each other.
Most people didn't see the sub happen just before that as James Moberg came on. Made a couple appearances for the Monarchs this season to replace Boyd Aquanu, who just couldn't make it any longer. Arnone looks like he's back up and ready to enter this match again.
He's got a new, new energy to him after scoring a goal. There's no better feeling in the world. Same way there's no worse feeling than hitting the post, there's no better feeling than scoring a goal.
Great job by Amon Kona to knock that one out of play.
And
we have throwing on the near side for the Whitecaps.
Landon, what were you saying about a goal in the last 5 minutes? It's just becoming a trend now.
4th of July fireworks. Should I say the 2nd of July fireworks. Looking forward again, Garcia Rolfe chasing on. It's gonna be knocked out of play by the Whitecaps. Chung and Farmer right there, or DeWitt right there. Clean that one up. Rolfe and Garcia were on rushing, looking for the game winner.
Looks good. Melvin was way off of his line. And really, this is last 2 minutes of the game. Just try to get anything on there, get a body in there, get a foot in there. At this point in this corner, it's who wants it more, who's willing to rush in there and get the ball.
Holness will take the sub for the Monarchs. 89th minute of play. Holness will swing it in. Punched out by the keeper. Moberg will chase it down. Moberg out wide to Tavares. Tavares is going to play it off the Whitecaps, and it'll be a Monarchs throw-in. It'll be a substitution here in the 90th minute of play.
Whitecaps giving up a goal, and just the momentum of the game is completely changing. Monarchs getting opportunity after opportunity now. They're preparing as this sub goes, just getting a breather, but already looking to go forward. Whitecaps not really sure what hit them. We talked about body language for the Monarchs in the first half. Well, we see a reciprocal of that. Now the Whitecaps, they're, have their hands on their hips, they're yelling at each other.
Baldissimo, Matthew coming on here in the 65th, or number 65, correction, in the 90th minute of play.
1 minute left for him to shine.
And Flores will take a seat on the bench. Monarchs looking for the game winner here late at Rio Tinto Stadium on this 4th of July weekend. Moberg. Four minutes of stoppage announced here.
It's a great turn by the Whitecaps.
Whitecaps still pushing forward. They're going to go for the game winner. No one at the back post. An opportunity.
Wow.
A shot and a goal.
Monarchs defense like Swiss cheese there, just hole after hole. And that's going to let in one goal at the 90th minute. It's so deflating for the Monarchs, but I mean, the Whitecaps doing a great job just finding every single seam, taking on every single player 1v1. Fernandez hung out to dry.
A goal scored in the 90th minute of play by Brett Levis as the Whitecaps take a 2-1 lead here late.
And Monarch defense just broke down there. And you could tell they were, as one player is getting beat, the next person would step, but it's half a second too late. And Whitecaps doing a great job just passing it off from one player to another, to right across the frame where they're able to get their shot right on top of the six. Easy goal.
Monarchs still have an opportunity. Tavares moving forward. He'll cut back. lose possession. Monarchs still going to press, be a throw-in. We've been through a minute and a half of stoppage so far,
I don't see
unofficially.
too much. Yeah, I don't see much more, to be honest. Simply because this game never really stopped.
We had 4 minutes of stoppage announced. We'll see what the Monarchs can do with it. Sunley, he'll pick up his head, drive it from distance, and that one's wide of the frame.
It'll go wide, and you can see the Whitecaps have all 11 players back in their attacking third. At this point, with several minutes left, you're just trying to keep their lead. You know, now players are cramping up. Just all part of the time management.
Been intense games between these two players all season long, as both teams, all 3 games, have gone down to the wire. Monarchs taking the advantage so far in the season series, leading with 1 win and a tie.
Yeah.
And the Whitecaps looking to tie it up here with a win in Salt Lake City.
You know, this feels a lot. Feeling this exact same way. Have the same feeling in my stomach as I did last night at the Real game when the other team gets a goal in the last minute of the game.
Arnone quickly into Garcia. Ball's going to be lobbed into the Monarchs' half of the field. Tavares will settle over to Kavita.
Got to move it up the field. You only have a couple of minutes left. You have to get one last opportunity.
A minute 20 about left in this one. Arnone moving forward. He's pressing. He is cramping in his right leg.
Yeah, well, he's just been running so much this game. One of those players that more defensive-minded, and yet he's been running up and down that field. Granted, he was blessed with the goal, but you know, both teams a little gassed right now. The Monarchs now trying to get the ball, but the Whitecaps are going to move it up the field.
Whitecaps going forward. Kavita defending him. Shot up and over the bar. Can't be much more than 30 seconds left in this one.
No, and that near side. Near side, the Monarchs are getting killed.
Tavares picking up his head. This might be the last opportunity for the Monarchs. That one's going to be headed out, and the Monarchs are going to get an opportunity here with a corner as Chung plays that out.
Yeah, this may be their last opportunity to put away. Tavares trying to get it up the field. You can see his thinking to try to get any sort of shot on goal.
Monarchs are going to bring everybody forward, including the keeper, as we've ellipsed 4 minutes.
Yeah, this is the last one.
Can't be anything left in this one.
Hoping Fernandez to make an ESPN highlight reel, right?
Fernandez forward. Holness will take it. He'll swing it in. Rolfe with the header. And that one's not going to be enough. Melvin with the goal kick here. 4 minutes have been played. 4 minutes and 30 seconds now have been played in stoppage with an announced 4 minutes. Can't be much more than this goal kick, Carla. As the Monarchs
just so deflating.
Lose this one in stoppage time in the 91st minute of play to the Whitecaps 2 in what was a thrilling final 10 minutes of game.
Yeah, it was a great soccer game. Great soccer game, and that's what makes the difference between the good and the great teams is when you have a win or you have that tie. In the Monarchs' case, you're able to hold it for a couple minutes. Unfortunately, the Monarchs giving up 2 goals in this match, one in the 17th minute and the second in stoppage time. Again, you can just kind of feel the crowd, the players. It's really deflating.
Monarchs should not hang their heads, though, on that one, though, Carla. Playing against the #1 team in the Western Conference in a game that really was very tight all game long.
Oh, definitely.
They came back, found the equalizer on a game in a week where they had played on Wednesday night with tired legs.
Yeah, we'd spoken with the coaches earlier just about how tired the Monarchs were at this point, and they didn't look tired. You know, you have the first half where maybe they were a little gassed, but the second half, they came out with a lot of fight up until the very end.
Definitely. Real Salt Lake and Monarchs broadcasts are heard on ESPN 700, your home of soccer in Utah's #1 sports talk, ESPN 700, and by LifeVantage, helping people achieve health, wealth, and personal freedom. As this one ends in a 2-1 loss for the Monarchs tonight, Carla, a game that could have gone either way. Both teams hit the posts, but the Whitecaps were able to capitalize late.
Yeah, and the Whitecaps did a great job of adapting to the game. Towards the end of the game, they start to realize that the Monarchs' near side was weaker, and so they continued to, move forward.
Both teams will look to regroup. Monarchs are going to have more opportunities at home as they've played the majority of their schedule on the road. The Monarchs have to come back with energy, get a little bit of rest under them, and come back with that fuel and fire.
Yeah, well, you're coming off 2 losses, and with that, it comes a mental game. It's more than just physically resting and eating the right thing. It becomes mental. Are you able to focus on the present, focus on my new goals? I mean, there's still a lot of games left, still a lot of season left, and so Freddie Juarez needs to get his team and focus him on the next match.
We just crossed the halfway point in the season. The Monarchs are going to have opportunities again here in the next few weeks at home, looking to capitalize on those things. But really, if you're Freddie Juarez, what do you make a part of this second half?
I'm telling my team, you're playing well, you have good energy, you have to finish in the attacking third. I mean, that's what you and I were saying for the majority of this game, is you have to get bodies into the box and you have to put them away. There were 2 or 3 crosses right on the 6th, and you have to be able to get a body when those crosses come in.
Those opportunities are going to present themselves here in the next few weeks. Get a little more training, get to sleep in your own bed, and that really does play
really
a factor.
Does. No, yeah, and being able to just be back at home, be back at Rio Tinto with the brand new field, brand new stadium. They were playing in Utah, but you weren't playing at your home field, and everything's brand new. You're playing new teams. It's not the same as playing at home.
We'd like to thank all those of you out there listening in for joining tonight's broadcast.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.